Hey student, watch this video if you want to learn the difference between sorry and excuse me in English. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. I had forgotten my mic, so if the sound was a little weird, now the sound is okay. If it's your first time here, hey, consider subscribing. From Monday to Friday, I post all kinds of English lessons, vocabulary, grammar, listening tips, reading tips, all kinds of English lessons to make you a better and more confident English speaker. So hey, lots of good stuff here. Consider subscribing. Anyways, today I'm going to talk about the difference between sorry and excuse me, okay? These words are very popular in English, but English learners tend to confuse these two words. And I will explain in what situations English learners confuse sorry and excuse me. Maybe you know the translation, which is not necessarily very helpful because as I always say, translation doesn't save you. Knowing the translation doesn't mean you know how to use the word, okay? There are many cultural aspects that you need to know, and that is not going to help you if you just know the translation of a word, okay? Awesome, my friends. Let's get down to business. Difference between excuse me and sorry. Now, both are very popular, okay? You will use sorry and excuse me all the time. The problem is that many English learners let their native language influence them. So if you are Brazilian, if you are Spanish, if you are maybe Italian or French, or if you speak any language that comes from Latin, you may have this influence. Maybe not, okay? It could be something local, but I know that many Latin students, Brazilian students have this problem, okay? So here, the first thing that I have to tell you is don't let your culture, your language habits influence you when you're speaking English, because it's a different language, it's a different culture. Okay, so this is a problem here when it comes to the words sorry and excuse me. We let our language, culture, and knowledge influence what we should do in English, and English is different. Okay, now let's focus on sorry. And hey, if you enjoy this kind of lessons where I show you differences between words, make sure to hit the like button, because that way I understand that you want to see more lessons like this one. Okay? Now, sorry. Here are some common uses for the word sorry. Okay, so here we have the most obvious one. So when you want to show that something you did, to show that something is stupid or bad or embarrassing, then you can use sorry to express that idea. You know, maybe you did something that was bad, stupid, or something, so you say sorry. Okay, when you did something bad to someone or embarrassing or stupid, so you can go and say the word sorry. No problems. And I'm going to show you some examples, okay? Now, another way to use sorry. When you want to show feelings of sadness or sympathy, okay, because of something that happened to someone. So maybe someone is telling you a sad story, you know, and you want to show a feeling of sympathy. You want to show that you feel bad for the person. You don't usually say, I feel bad for you. You can, okay? But a very popular way is to feel sorry. I'm so sorry you lost your parents. I'm so sorry. And here you are not apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault, okay? You are just showing sympathy for what the person is going through. So this is a very popular use of the word sorry. And if you watch TV series, movies, you will see that these phrases, I'm sorry, blah, 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 I'm sorry, you, blah, 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 are very common. You see them a lot. So the person is not necessarily saying, I am sorry. No, maybe the person is showing sympathy, showing that they understand, showing that they are sad for something that is happening or has happened to someone. Okay? You also use sorry to express disappointment, okay? To show that you are disappointed about a situation, and if possible, you would like to change it, but you can't. Okay, so hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't call you this morning. All right, so I feel disappointed about not calling you, and I would like to have changed it, but I can't. I can't go back in time, at least not yet. Who knows, in the future we'll be able to go back in time. Anyway, so you cannot go back in time. You wish you could change it, but you can't. So you can use the word sorry. And here, when I say use the word sorry, you usually use verb to be as well. Oh, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. Oh, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. Oh, I feel sorry, blah blah blah. It's not only the word sorry. You will only use the word sorry for those more basic situations, okay? Maybe when you did something bad and you say, "Oh, sorry." Okay, maybe you did something that I didn't like it and it's not something super serious. You can just say, "Hey, sorry." All right, so that's what I'm talking about here. So usually in these situations, in these conversations, you will need verb to be. I am sorry, I missed your party. Oh, I'm here at your party and Susan is really sorry she is not gonna make it, she's not gonna be able to come. Okay, you will also use I'm sorry when you disagree with someone. This is very common. And here, that's when the culture plays a huge role, you know? So in a conversation, it's very common for advanced English learners to use, oh, I'm sorry you feel this way. I'm sorry I disagree. And it's a very nice way to start your part in the conversation to show that you disagree. Okay, I'm sorry, but I disagree. So you're not necessarily, oh, I'm so sorry. That's not the point, okay? Here, it's a very popular phrase that you can use to begin your part in the conversation where you are going to say you disagree. Okay, I will show you more examples. And you can also use I'm sorry before asking someone to repeat something. Okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please? So that is very, very popular. Actually, Americans and in general, Canadians and Australians, British, they're very polite. Okay, they use the word sorry quite frequently. Depending on the culture, people may not use the word sorry and excuse me so much. And it doesn't mean they are impolite, it means it's culture. I think when we're learning a language, we also need to analyze the culture. Here in Brazil, we don't use the word sorry all the time, but we do use sorry, okay? We do say sorry. But if we compare to Americans, we may not use it as much as they do, okay? Moving on, here's some examples. Here are some examples. I'm sorry I broke the window. Sorry. So it was something bad that I did. It was something stupid. I will not break the window again. Maybe it was an accident, okay? So when you do something by accident, you can also say you're sorry. You really did something stupid and you are sorry, okay? Now, here, I feel sorry for Jane. She just lost her job. So here, I feel sad for Jane. You know, she lost her job. I feel sad for her. I feel sympathy for her. I feel sorry for Jane. Very popular way. And here, it's not that you are sorry. It's not the translation of sorry. You feel bad that this has happened to Jane. Okay, she has lost her job. It's terrible. Now, Alex was very sorry he could no longer run at the park. This is another example to say that he was feeling sad or disappointed because he was not going to be able to do something anymore. So he cannot run at the park anymore. So he was feeling sorry. He was very sorry he could no longer run at the park. Maybe he broke his feet. Maybe he broke a foot or a knee. Maybe something happened. Maybe he moved to a new place and there's no park. We don't know, but he's just sorry that he will no longer be able to run at the park. Okay? I'm sorry. Can you say that again? So I'm sorry is very common. Okay? I'm sorry, but I don't think this project is a good idea. Hello. So, here, my friends, what am I trying to say? I don't agree with you. I don't think this project is a good idea. And usually, English learners, they're very worried about, oh, I need to say, I don't agree. I don't believe. No, you don't, actually. Here, by starting this way, I'm sorry, but you are disagreeing, okay? I'm sorry, but I don't. And then you say. So maybe we were discussing a project and I don't think it's a good idea. I don't need to start my part in the conversation by saying, I don't agree. You can say, I'm sorry. It's actually very polite. I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good idea. Why don't we, if you are in a real world, you would give a suggestion, you would give an explanation. So here is just the beginning of the conversation. So you would need to keep explaining why you don't think the idea is good, why you don't think the project is a good idea. Okay? Excellent. Now, moving on to excuse me. Hello. Here are some situations when you can use excuse me. You will use excuse me before interrupting or disturbing someone. Maybe you see two people talking on the street and you need to ask for information, so you go toward them and then you interrupt them. And usually you don't say hello, you say excuse me. I sometimes mistakenly say hi, and it's fine, okay? At the end of the day, guys, you will use what you remember, okay? You will use what you truly understand. Now, excuse me is a very popular way to start a conversation when we want to interrupt someone. But if you forget and you say hello, it's fine. Take it easy, it'll be okay. Now, a good way to do that is by saying, excuse me. You are walking down the street and you need to stop someone to ask for something, for some information, for directions or whatever. Then you can say, excuse me, where can I get blah blah? And you're good to go. Now, you also use excuse me to get someone's attention, okay? Now imagine you are in a classroom in college or in high school and you are talking to your friends and then your teacher looks at you and say, excuse me, young man, I asked you a question. Hello. So it is common to say so. You can say excuse me to get someone's attention. Maybe you want to begin a conversation. Excuse me, do you know how I can get and here it's very similar to interrupting someone because the ideas are similar. Maybe you just want to get someone's attention, maybe you want to interrupt them to ask something. So both situations are very similar, okay? You will also use excuse me to ask someone to move so that you can pass, okay? So maybe the person is in front of you and hello, excuse me. Okay, you're not gonna say hi. Sorry. You can, but it's better to say excuse me. Why would you say sorry in this case? Okay, it would be better to just say excuse me. Okay? And you also use excuse me to tell someone that you are leaving a place. So maybe you are on the phone and you need to go to the other room for a second. So you say, excuse me, I need to go get my stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, so this would be a very popular scenario as well. Anyways, friends, are you enjoying the video? I hope so. Make sure to hit the like button because that way you help YouTube understand that you enjoy this kind of lessons. Now let's take a look at some examples. Excuse me, I'll be right back, okay? Well, I used the wrong intonation here. I didn't see the example. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Okay, so maybe you are talking to a client and you're having a conversation and your phone rings, okay? Your phone starts to ring. So you look at your client and you say, excuse me, I'll be right back. This is an important, I need to take this, okay? It's an important call. So that's what you can say. Excuse me, you're getting someone's attention. Excuse me, do you mind if I open the window? It's so, oh my goodness, it's so hot in here. Sure, absolutely, go for it. For people who don't have air conditioning, like me. Last week it was like 7 degrees in Sao Paulo. Today is like 30, 30, 30 degrees. The world is ending. This is crazy. I think this year I will need to buy air conditioning. I can't take this anymore. Anyways, excuse me, maybe you, for example, let's imagine here a situation. You are in a school and you need to enter a room, but there are people in front of the room. So what do you say? You don't say, hey, yo, get out. Maybe, who knows? But usually if you want to be polite, you say, excuse me, I need to enter this room. Okay, I need to go in. So this is a good way to say, you don't say sorry. I've seen people say sorry. Sorry, I need to go in. Why are you saying sorry? You don't. Okay, you say, excuse me. I stopped someone at the street. Hey, excuse me, can I stop you for a minute? I can't find the, oh, here's another example. It's a different one. Let's suppose you are watching a lesson and you are feeling a little lost. Here the person cannot find the PDF file that they are using. So you can stop the teacher or the person making the presentation, the lecturer, and you can say, excuse me, can I stop you for a second? I can't find the PDF file for this lecture. Could you send it to me again? I don't know. Think of something. So here you can interrupt someone politely, as I said. Okay, my friends? Awesome. Anyways, now, excuse me or sorry. Here we have two very popular situations. Burping. I'm not gonna do this here. Hello. And farting. You know, look at the pictures if you don't know what I mean. You probably know. Usually students, they know the stupid words, but the important ones, they don't. So this is a very funny situation. I have many students who live in the United States, and some of them have children. And one day I was with this client and she told me this funny story. She told me, teacher, my son was in the school and then he farted and I taught him to say sorry because that's terrible. But in the classroom, the teacher corrected him and said and told him to say, excuse me. I was shocked. Isn't that wrong? Shouldn't he say sorry? And then I told her, well, in Brazil, you say sorry. In the United States, you say, excuse me. Actually, this is very cultural. Parents usually teach their kids to say, excuse me, when they burp or when they fart, you know? Now, usually the intonation of the parents when they say excuse me, it's a funny intonation. Excuse me, hello. So it's in a fun way. The intonation is usually like that. It's not in a serious way. Excuse me, yo. No, it's in a more laid back intonation because they are trying to teach the child to say excuse me. I remember that when I was a babysitter and the child farted sometimes and she would say excuse me and her intonation would go up and it would be very funny. So this is cultural. So I close this lesson with this because what is my main message here? It's important that you know the culture, okay? So maybe in your country this doesn't make any sense. I just farted. I have to say sorry. Actually, I shouldn't fart in front of people. Hello? I shouldn't burp in front of people. But accidents happen. And if they do, and you are in the United States, say, excuse me. Okay? Excellent, my friends. Now I have a question for you as the homework. I want you to come back here in the comments and participate. What would you like to know about the American culture? Yay! I lived there for 2 years. I have many friends there, clients there. So I am always in touch with the American culture. So if you have questions about it, let me know in the comments and I can make videos like this one to talk a little bit more about the locals and the culture in the United States. Okay? Other than that, my friends, thank you so much and I will see you tomorrow for another lesson. Bye-bye!